Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Ministry of Higher Education wins the Award of Quality Leadership 2019 from the European Society for Quality Researchers. The Minister of State and Governor of the Far Office reviews the readiness of receiving visitors of Salalah touristic season. And 16 countries discuss in Muscat updates and developments in the field of foodborne disease surveillance for the Middle East region. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardita of South Sudan on his country's independence anniversary. The Ministry of Higher Education achieved an international trailblazing accomplishment by winning the award of the Best Leadership in Quality for 2019. This came at the ceremony of quality awards granted by the European Society for Quality Researchers, ESQR, in Berlin, Germany. The award, considered as a European recognition from ESQR for quality researchers at governmental and various sectors from all countries in the world, companies, institutions and administration, which showed distinctive leadership by taking innovative steps based on initiatives in order to uplift quality development. The European institution chose governmental companies, institutions and administration based on surveys and consumers' opinions in addition to market research conducted by the institution. In preparation for rainfall season in the Governorate of the Far, the annual meeting was held at Minister of State and Governor of the Far Office. The meeting, which was chaired by His Excellency Sayyid Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of the State and Governor of the Far, focused on the latest updates on the preparations exerted by the relevant public and private institutes to facilitate services and events during the rainfall season. His Excellency Minister of the State and Governor of the Far stated that this season will be exceptional and all service will be available, but at the same time, we hope cooperation from everyone. His Excellency added that the visitors must adhere to cautions released by government authorities when driving, as the fog is heavy during the season, or when going to the beach. Officials also discussed the readiness of the health services, accommodation and roads to prepare for the coming batch of visitors and touristic during the rainfall season. With the participation of 16 countries, the Ministry of Health organized a regional workshop on data analysis on the network of foodborne disease surveillance laboratories. The three-day workshop aims to introduce foodborne pathogens' identity, their priorities, and train the participants to detect them. The updates and the development at the World Health Organization (WHO) would like member countries to apply to the field of food spores testing will also discuss during the workshop. The session was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Saif Al Husni, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Health for Health Affairs. Updates on the Central Drug Registration Regulation and the system for suspending, cancelling and the pulling out of medicines aimed at discussion of the GCC Central Committee for Drug Registration, which is affiliated to the GCC Health Council. The 92nd meeting, which was held in Salalah, aimed at enhancing cooperation between the GCC states members and unifying the relevant rules and regulations. The meeting focused on registrations of drugs and pharmaceutical companies, as well as drugs supplied by such companies, and exchange of data and information between the state members. Officials in the meeting also discussed unifying medicine prices across Gulf countries and the side effects of such medicines. With the participation of a number of relevant public institutions, the Information Technology Authority organized the 8th discussion session within the SORCAM initiative. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi has more details in the following report.
With the ongoing technological revolutions, cybercrimes against children are on the rise. Hence, to promote parents' awareness about ways to protect their children from such dangers, the Information Technology Authority (ITA) held its 8th open discussion session under the theme Protecting Children in Cyberspace, Reality and Solutions.
In 2018, Oman National CERT has managed to deal with 22 cybercrime related to children. The age of these children were around 13 to 18 years old. In 2019, the number has increased. Since the beginning of the year until June 30th of June 2019, we received around 35 cybercrime targeting children. These cybercrime are specified as blackmailing, cyber blackmailing, and other different categories.
The speakers at the session shed light on the dangers facing children online and the actions to be taken by families to protect their children from the risks while surfing the internet.
We have a lot of campaign to doing here at MOE, Ministry of Education, with the ROB and with the ITA and different organizations here in Oman. That's campaign to protect our children about the child abuse and to child protection. In addition, already we're doing some campaign to protect with our student about how to make the privacy about for the mobile device and to the tablet or whatever. However, we need to the whole community to work as one team to protect our kids, started from the home or the house, the community, different community, then to the schools.
The participants also explored a number of suggestions to help parents control the content of the internet in the devices used by their children and the available solutions and tools to reduce cybercrimes against children. Protecting children in the real world is vital, but safeguarding them from online threats is more important nowadays. Such initiatives and discussions are significant to create a safer cyberspace for future generations. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
The summer program of the Governorate of Brahmi includes various activities that came to meet the needs of male and female students in the Governorate. It aims to utilize the free time of students during summer vacation in a way that enrich them with knowledge and development their capabilities and skills. The summer program in the Governorate of Brahmi is being organized in 2 centers with the participation of 200 male and female students. The program includes cultural, scientific and sports activities that suit all segments of school students. Still to come in our news bulletin. A brown quartzite head of young King Tutankhamun is to be auctioned in London, though the Egyptians want it back. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Now for the international world, Iran threatened today to restart deactivated centrifuges to ramp up its enrichment of uranium to 20% purity as its next potential big moves away from a 2015 nuclear agreement that Washington abandoned last year. The announcement made by Behrouz Kalamvandi, spokesman of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, would go far beyond the small steps Iran has taken in the past week to nudge its talks to fissile material just beyond limits in the nuclear pact. The threat would reverse major achievements of the agreement, although Iran omitted important details about how far it might go to the returning of the status quo before the pact, when Western experts believe it could build a bomb within months. Behrouz Kamalvandi, spokesman of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, confirmed an announcement that Tehran has enriched uranium beyond the deal's limit of 3.67% purity, passing 4.5%. That followed an announcement that a week ago it had amassed a greater quantity of low-enriched uranium than permitted. The European Union said today it was extremely concerned by the Iranian plans to breach the uranium enrichment cap set by the 2015 nuclear deal, calling on Tehran to reverse their course. The EU first announced its intention to reduce compliance with the deal in May, a year after US President Donald Trump unilaterally withdrew from the pact and reimposed crippling sanctions. The EU will await a report from the UN's Atomic Energy Authority and consult other signatories to deal before deciding on future steps. Britain, France and Germany have sought to save the deal by creating a special mechanism called Instax to sidestep US sanctions so Iran can keep trading, but the mechanism is still not operational. A brown quartzite head of young King Tutankhamun was due to be auctioned in London with an estimate of more than $5 million in the face of Egyptian demands for its return. Here's a report.
The more than 3,000-year-old sculpture on display at Christie's London auction house shows the boy king Tutankhamun taking the form of the ancient Egyptian god Amen. Staff at Christie's said they had taken the necessary steps to prove its provenance and the sale was legitimate.
So it's a very well-known piece. It's been widely published and exhibited since its acquisition by the Risandro collection almost 40 years ago. So this head is over 3,000 years old, and it represents the king of gods, the god Amen, with the features of Tutankhamun, of the famous King Tut.
Head of the Antiquities Department at Christie's said the 28.5 centimeters high piece was in extraordinary condition, with just the ears and nose damaged. It's seen selling for more than $5 million, plus commission, with a collector the most likely buyer. The head is being sold from the private Risandro collection of Egyptian art. Christie's says the head was acquired from Munich-based dealer Heinz Herzer in 1985. Before that, Austrian dealer Joseph Messina bought it in 1973 to 1974.
So historical objects, by their nature, it's impossible to track them back over the millennia of their existence. So what we endeavor to do is to research their modern history. And in this case, it actually brought us back to the 1960s, when it was in an Austrian aristocratic collection.
Head of the Antiquities Department at Christie's said Christie's had been in touch with Egyptian authorities in Cairo and the London Embassy. However, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities said he was disappointed the sale was going ahead, despite requests for information and protest from government officials and Egypt's embassy in London. Egypt has long demanded the return of artifacts taken by archaeologists and imperial adventurers, including the Rosetta Stone kept in the British Museum.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates with chances of low clouds and fog late at night and early morning. Over the coast of the Arabian Sea, clear to partly cloudy skies with chances of intermittent drizzle are expected over the governorate of the Far. Winds will be southeasterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Higher Education wins the Award of Quality Leadership 2019 from European Society for Quality Researchers. The Minister of State and Governor of the Far Office reviews the readiness of receiving visitors of Salalah touristic season. And 16 countries discuss in Muscat updates and developments in the field of foodborne disease surveillance for Middle East region. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.